Well, hey, everybody. I'm Transformer Decepticon guy, and this is Python Patrol guy. And we're going to talk toys. We'll have to edit that out. How's it going, Michael?
I am doing well. I love that intro, by the way. I was rocking out, and especially the ending.
Yeah. I had to put a little Toy Habits drum fill in there for you. You know, I've said before, and I don't know who remembers this stuff, but when I first started doing YouTube, I told Pendragon, Chad from Pendragon Designs, who does all of my logos and artwork and stuff like that. I said, you know what, dude? Like, I want an intro like Toy Habits.
Oh,
yeah. And I said, but metal. I don't know.
Yeah. The inspiration for that one came from the 1986 Transformers movie. So my brother's a music producer, and so I sent him the intro to the Transformers movie, and I said, I want something to get people amped up when we come on live, and this was the first thing that he made. He made like a 20-second version, and I was like, could you just cut that in half? And we'll be
good. You don't realize how short, like, you know, an intro for a live show, you know, I put all like the cartoon and the
I love it.
But my intro itself is 7 seconds. And it's super quick. Good band, by the way. 7 seconds. World Made of Cardboard said, what is this? It's in the afternoon. Yeah, man. 5 p.m. Eastern on Sundays is when I'm doing my thing now. So
nice.
It works out for me. It's a good time.
Yeah.
So yeah. What's been going on over there in Toy Habits land?
Toy Habits land, it's been pretty busy for us. You know, my partner, the Toy Sorceress, and I are working on a bunch of we call it early information. We can't call it the L word because Mattel doesn't like that word for some reason. Their lawyers are all over us when we use that word.
Yeah, I know a guy at another company who tells me don't use that word.
Yeah. And so, we put out a bunch of early information ahead of Mattel's huge March Masters of the Universe drop. And so we've revealed a couple things that are coming that we should see in March. And we have a few more that we are saving for not a rainy day, but to put out in the next few weeks and stuff.
It's you and I talk about this a lot, you know, offline on the private side, just you and me. But there's always this dance when you talk about the not L word stuff.
Yes.
Where do I drop it? Do I wait? How long do I wait? If I wait too long, did I miss it? You know what I'm saying, right?
So I just went through that. This was a lesson in not waiting or not sitting on information. So we got early information on, I think, wave 24 and 25, or is it 24 and 25 and 26 of the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection waves. And I was like, oh, you know, let's release one of these every few days or whatever. And then like the next day, bam, like it's all over the internet, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Suka here says L words can cause cancellation. Okay, look, leaks. Yeah. We can say it here. Leaks can cause cancellations if early enough in production.
Yeah, and that's, you know, we've been the honorary recipient of a cease and desist, right? And that was one of the things that they were outlining in this cease and desist was, hey, you might have ruined, you know, the potential launch of a line. Yes, and that was my reaction too, because I was like, yeah, they're probably not going to cancel the line because we've released information on it. So scare tactics.
You know, I got a thing for that. And it looks like this.
That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit right there.
Yeah, that's that bullshit. Our good friend Ryan from the 3POA podcast is asking, are those two stupid toy wall explosions? Yes.
Yes, they are.
The inside joke.
It looks like we're in the same room, kind of, because it looks
like it does. Yeah, like cabinet to cabinet there.
Yeah, I like it.
This looks like we're in the same room. Yeah, no, see, I like that better because it's
and you're on the side that you want to be on too, right?
yeah, because then I can look at you and it's kind of like I'm looking at my camera, but I also have to look at the chat like every 3 seconds.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Maxim, say again.
There was one comment or very early when you came on that just had me rolling. It was from Medieval Alchemy.
Oh, I like this one.
Yes,
I started this one. Yeah,
that is good. No, it was
Medieval Alchemist. I'll go find it.
Yeah,
Joe fan. Yeah, it healed. Yeah, all healed. Sorry. let me go find it.
Yeah,
this one.
It was a greetings. Yes, I love that. I like that.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that it just evolved over time, and it's a play on the Steve Buscemi with the skateboard and the hey fellow kids or whatever. So one day I just said, "Hey, you fellow fucks," and then it just kind of took off. So just became a thing of its own. Yeah, and then Chad holes. Chad holes is a thing too. Yeah,
I like that.
That's another thing. I do have to give and now the chat's moving, but Maximilian Tucker, man, congratulations on making it through your procedure. Speedy recovery. Everybody's rooting for you, my dude. So he had a serious surgery, but he came out of it on the other side. And there's a good friend, Jesse from JLS Comics. What's up, Jesse? Good to see you. Leaks, and not leaks, and what do you call them? You don't call them leaks?
Early information.
Yeah.
I'll
remember that.
We only do that with Mattel. We'll say leaks with every other toy company, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we got slapped in the hand
by Mattel, but they're still cool with you though.
You know what? The legal team is not. The designers are. It was weird walking into the Mattel booth in Comic-Con and all of the action figure designers, the artists, they were like, "We watch your show. We love what you do." Teddy Baselli from, he produces the Masters of the Universe Revolution Netflix series. He was in there too. He was like, "Hey, I'm Teddy. I love your show." I was like, "Whoa,
it's Teddy."
He's awesome.
Talib says, "I feel leaks create more hype. I love how it happens with Transformers." It's funny. We're gonna kind of talk about leaks related to Transformers and another property that nobody knows anything about called GI Joe. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. What do you think? Do you think that leaks create more hype?
Oh, most definitely. I think for the majority of people that we leak the information to, they're super excited about it. I think because all of the toy companies are tight-lipped. Only one company, like Ramen Toy, lets you into the design process and like all the behind the scenes you can see, like their prototypes and all this other stuff. And it's nice to know what's coming, right? And it would be nice if toy companies would hype themselves up and give themselves some PR instead of us having to do it. But it's also fun for us because we're not under NDA with anyone. And so we actually like being on this side because it's a heck of a lot more fun to dish information like that.
Yeah. I agree with you very much. Talib also says Chad looks at the chat ? Of course I do. JLS Comics says, how about the term early leakage?
That reminds me of when they tried to do like the I don't know, was it like the fat-free Doritos, and that like gave everybody that like leakage problem when they ate them? I think it was like Olestra or something. It was like some chemical that caused that. So yeah, seepage, leakage, no.
Did you have you heard about these sugar-free gummy bear reviews on Amazon?
No, but I've had sugar-free candy before.
So a couple years back, it was this thing going around that people were leaving these ridiculously graphic, butt pee kind of
Oh my God.
reviews on the sugar-free Haribo gummy bears on Amazon. And people would just go read them just for the laughs, and it became like this whole thing for a hot minute. So
I can't attest to that part of it, but it gives you a lot of intestinal problems. I'm just eating real candy. I'm not doing the sugar.
yeah, just eat some gummy bears. Jeffy's asking Transformers and Gobots leaks. Transformers-ish stuff. Yeah. The funny thing about leaks or early information, there's also the blowback, right? We've talked about the blowback before, right? I know you and Toy Sorceress have received your fair share of vitriol, I guess might be the word, or denial.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Got anything on that?
Yeah. So I think what happens when, I don't know how often you leak stuff, but over time, once the leaks start to come to fruition consistently, the blowback and the accusation of clickbait, you have no idea what you're talking about, you're out of your mind comments totally fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
And so we started doing this, gosh, maybe I think 6 months into the channel. There was a guy in the Midwest who owned a toy shop, and he would be on these like retailer calls. And for some reason, he would just want to give us this information of like, hey, here's in the Masterverse Wave 10 assortment, or here's in the MOTU Origins Wave 12 assortment.
Yeah.
And so we started doing that. We used the vintage figures as stand-ins because we didn't have any pictures. We just had the names. And the first time we did that, oh my God, we got lambasted so hard for that. And I was thinking to myself, God, I hope these come true.
There is that moment where things can change, and a lot of leaks or early information that we hear, you hear your share, I hear my share, but you're talking, all these toy companies do like 2-year plans.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that everything's going to come true. And so a lot of times you're like, what do I share? What do I sit on? What do I just open the floodgates and go, man, don't make me look stupid,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
one of the leaks that I had shared, and Chris from Cutthroat's asking, how many leaks have Chad created? Well, I haven't created leaks. I shared. There's the difference. One of them, I don't know if it's still going to happen, and that's the Hasbro bringing back the figure subscription service. I don't know where that stands now. So
I think too, like, regardless of whether it happens or not, it's so much fun to talk about the possibilities. Yeah. And that's what, like, with some of the with some of the leaks that we're seeing now, especially with the stuff we're going to talk about soon with the Transformers crossovers, it's like, who knows how this stuff's going to look like, and the Lord knows what is going to come, if it's going to be one thing or a whole series of toys. But let's talk about the possibilities and have fun. I think people forget the have fun part about it.
That is the key factor. Are these the chips?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Now we're all up to speed on that, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
That was, geez, I think that was in like the early 2000s or something when those came out.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Tom, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Actually, technically, Gobots and Transformers, they share the same continuity, actually. That is true. Yeah, that is true now. Right? Tonka, Kenner, Hasbro bottom, Sidekill was in the Transformers comics.
Yes.
Don't they make mention to a couple of Gobots in Transformers 1?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I only saw the movie once.
I did too. Yeah,
I was surprised at how freaking good it was.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and then whatever. Did you know that a blown oh my lord. Okay. What's up, Northern Nomad? Good to see you, buddy. Let's see. We got a couple of starred comments. Medieval Alchemist says, heard some GI Joe leaks that made my day. Total hyped. Do you want to share those? Or private message me and I'll let you know if I heard those. I don't know. Sometimes two heads are better than one. There's another person in our chat tonight. I'm not going to give him away. I'm not even going to say what he's done with or at Hasbro. And he and I, we, kind of got in a little private message conversation, and we, confirmed or dispelled certain things with one another. So,
oh, that's great.
Sometimes you got to corroborate information.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Michael, corroborating information. You got some of these, right?
These guys, right?
Yeah. Do you remember one time you and I were having a conversation about Super7 and how they were going to do O-ring figures? And you were like, yeah, I got that information too. And I was like, yeah, I've been sitting on that for a couple months, but I don't know if I should leak it yet because I'm trying to get Flynn to come on and talk about the fucking mothership with me. That's how long I was sitting on that.
Wow.
And then you and I at the same time, what did we say to each other? Vehicles.
Playsets. Yeah.
Because you heard it from one of their employees where?
At the Super7 store in San Francisco. So this was the time when I didn't even know that this O-ring line was coming out, or did I? But it was funny because I was talking to him and he was like, oh yeah, and then they're going to make vehicles. And I was like, for the reaction line, because with 5 POA, it's like the old Star Wars figures where you just got to put Luke in the Tauntaun and just like shove him down.
Yeah. Get in there. Yeah. Just smash him down. Yeah. Into the trap door.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm like, what do I do with that? And so we wrote, something up about that part. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this whole line that they're doing. It's funny. I run into Brian Flynn sometimes at the antique fair that I go to.
Yeah, you sent me a picture one time when you were out antique toy shopping, and you were like, "Look who I ran into," and I'm like, "Yeah, I see him. Yeah, there he is."
Like, get back to Chad.
He never did. And you know what? That's fine. Whatever.
It's funny. I emailed him too, and I even see him in person, and he never got back to me. So like, whatever.
I know why. It is what it is. I'm just going to leave it alone. He doesn't like people I'm friends with, and for some reason thinks I can't be professional talking about toys.
Yeah.
That last part was kind of an assumption on my part, but it doesn't matter. It's all well and good. Yeah. Wait, we can have fun with toys?
What?
Everyone does it. Now you can do it too. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut the hole in your face. Like that.
I'm sorry. I need an excuse to you.
Enough said.
I need an excuse to do it. Jeff Morris says, I still have not found the Fatal Fluffy.
Me neither, actually. And I'm okay with that.
I found 2. I gave 1 away.
That's so nice of you.
But I think that's what we should do. Like if I come across 2, I don't need 2. I'm not going to open him, or maybe I will. I don't know. But the point is, I had 2. Somebody that I know that's close to me wanted one, and I said, here you go.
Yeah, we did a huge giveaway. It was one of the figures that was, I think it was an early bird backing for the Eternia playset. It was King Grayskull, and anyone who didn't order Eternia would never get that figure. So somebody didn't want it, I had ordered one for somebody. It was like, you can keep the Grayskull figure and just ship me the playset. And so we just gave it away and like made somebody's day.
The HasLab Sky Striker, which that whole whatever. I took the boxed F-14 out of the box and I gave away the figures, and the rest of the box is just sitting over there doing nothing. But yeah, you gotta spread the love.
Yeah.
Suka says toys are not for fun; they're for putting on your shelf, never touching them again.
That's what we do.
There you go.
Case in point.
Tristan says Gobots were marketed as machine men over here. Yeah. Yeah, they were originally Machine Robo, right? That's why they have the MR designation. Yep. Yeah. MR1, MR3, etc., etc. Yeah. Psykill is MR1. Bike Robo. Jesse from JLS Comics. What about calling it toy/action figure intel or taint?
Oh my gosh. That is golden. That is gold right there.
That's it. Hey, Michael, you got any taint for me?
Wow. I got a whole.
Thanks, Jesse. I appreciate that. Fantasia Workshops here says, "What's up, bitches? You must be talking to people in the chat because I don't see any fucking bitches on screen." Anyway, yeah. Did you just gang sign him? What'd you do?
No.
I don't know, whatever. It's all good. Yeah. So anyway, back to kind of what we were ramping up with, and I've started a few comments that lead into where we're going, but I had heard the information about Super7 rewriting their contract with Hasbro to do O-ring figures based on comics and animation only. Was talking with you. We were talking about something else, and I mentioned it to you, and you were like, "Yeah, I heard that too." And I remember telling you, I asked if that included Resolute and Renegades, and I was told unknown, which I still don't have an answer on that. So, they've got more than enough with Sunbow and Deke to mine that they don't need to look at Resolute, but it does cover animation.
Yes.
So I thought it was a fair question. And that's when you and I started talking about the vehicles and the play sets and all that stuff. And I'm hopeful. I am hopeful that they do the Aspid and things like that. I know we had discussed that on numerous occasions, but you see him, just tell him, just be like, dude, just make the Aspid, call it a day.
Yeah.
Like right out of the gate, I think that would send a pretty big message.
It would. It's like, you want a banner year, Brian, make the Aspid.
So many people make customs of it.
Yeah.
Just release it. Our good friend Father Son Galaxy sends a $10 super chat. Thank you, my friend, and said, "Chad, thanks for your input this week. I appreciate it. Looking forward to the stream." Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate you, man. And you're welcome. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a channel member too. Oh, and channel members, I'm sorry I didn't do a pregame. My mind has been elsewhere, and I never built it. And I came in here and I was like, too late for that. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. J-Mac, Chad, how often do you go to the range? You mean like the pew pew range? I don't know. Whenever. I'm not active military anymore, so it's kind of for fun now. Medieval Alchemist says it's some classified news, been out for a few days, didn't want to step on any toes by saying more.
Interesting. Okay.
Is it about the Snowcat and the Thunder Machine? I mean, that's been out for a hot minute, though.
Yeah. Like, wonder who put that one out.
Well, because yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of stuff that I vomited a lot of stuff out at once, and I think people got so hung up on the Sergeant Cup Triple T.
Oh, geez.
That no one remembered me saying, yeah, the next HasLab's a Rattler. And it was just like kind of lost in the maelstrom. And then I was like, yeah, and then there's the Snowcat and the Thunder Machine at 150 to 175 price point. And then there's this, and then there's that, and then there's this.
Yeah.
And then there's this some bitch. Remember this? Remember this thing?
Yes.
That was the thing. That happened. Yeah. I grabbed the thumbnail from your page because it's a good
You're
thumbnail.
free to do that whenever you want. You don't even need to ask.
Okay, well, you're on the show and it's a rad thumbnail, and we were going to talk about it anyway. So, Zakanan, I see you. Thank you for being here, my friend. I appreciate you very much. My chat just jumps. It jumps so much. What's up, fellow nerd Big M? Good to see you, man. New Joe vehicles never made before would be great. 100% agree.
Yes.
So, George Aiken, our good friend from the UK, says, yeah, I wonder who had the news on the Mobat Transformer. I really hope that's sarcasm. Michael, who had that news?
This guy that I know very well, that I really respect, and he looks a lot like you.
Oh, I removed myself. I went to go like this.
Yeah.
I removed myself.
I can start over.
It
was you.
It was. And then you guys had that corroborated by somebody else, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then
we like to look for corroboration.
It's good, right? Because then anybody can just say whatever they want and people are going to run with it. And then you just look, I don't want to say dumb, but then some people look gullible and they lose credibility and things like that, So,
yes.
Yeah, the Mobat Prime, that was kind of one of those things. Initially, was it TF World 2005 or TF 2005 World? TF World 2005, right?
Mm-hmm.
So initially, the great thing about Transformers that I think a lot of people don't really catch on to is that every Transformer that's going to come out in the next year, they release a list. But I think a lot of Joe people were very slow to catch on that because they're doing crossovers. You just go look at the list because the list is public and you can just go find it. And like, that's when I kind of mined that Sergeant Cup Triple T. And originally it just said TF lowercase x GI Cup, comma, Triple T. And that's all it said on the very first posting. And I reached out to the guy who posted the list and I was like, hey, is that Transformer Joe crossover? And he's like, yeah, it is. Who are the figures? I don't know. And then kind of have to wait a little longer. My guy at Hasbro was like, oh, it's going to come with 2 figures like the Thunder Machine. And then I kind of had to wait a little bit longer. And then that's when we found out what the 2 figures were.
Nice.
As far as I'm tracking, this is still just Hawk. Like there is no second figure with that. But no, I don't know. And then what else we got?
It's not even gonna come with Steeler.
Yeah, you know how it is, right? Yeah. And you guys were talking about these on your stream. This one's an interesting one. This is a little more of a conversation piece. And you and Toy Sorceress were, I guess my ears were ringing because I opened YouTube and I was like, oh, hey, they're streaming. And as soon as I popped in, this was the image up on your screen.
Bam.
And so first of all, we know they have a mold for Snake Eyes. We know they have the mold for Duke, right? Because they did both in those 2 packs recently. Either one of them, I wouldn't be surprised because you have to think like Hasbro. You got to think like an executive. What's more popular, Clutch or Duke? Clutch or Snake Eyes? And remember, my argument was I could see them doing Scarlet.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you making a comment too, like they could do their greatest hits and just release the first 12 would be nice in some form or another.
Yeah, I would like to see Clutch, but then again, you don't have Steeler. We didn't get Thrasher.
Right.
Yeah, you got Sarge, but Sergeant Slaughter, he's larger than life no matter what. Doesn't matter if it's WWE or GI Joe. People know Sarge. Leatherneck, okay. But as soon as they did Zartan and Zorana, you see where the mindset is with that, right? It's not Zartan and Thrasher, which that could have made sense, or even Thrasher and Zorana. Okay, I'd have been okay with that, but nah. So I kind of see if it's 2 figures, I don't think you're going to see clutch.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess that's probably the reason why those figures were packed with the vehicles, right, instead of released as standalones back in the day, because maybe not super popular.
Yeah. Stu, what's up, man? Good to see you. I actually recorded with Stu at Universal Toy Collector yesterday. He's a really awesome guy. We had a fantastic time. I haven't seen him in a while. Trying to do my double duty here. Robert, what's up, man? Says, what's up, party people? Hey, Mobat, you're that guy. Cool. Yeah. So the interesting thing about the Vamp Hound crossover, we knew about the Cup Triple T, which, like you and I kind of talked about previously, I got raked over the coals for that one. And I know you know how that feels, because you know you've been there with Masters and Thundercat stuff and all that. But then after the Cup Triple T was confirmed, and then people nobody said, okay, you were right, because people on the internet aren't going to do that, and I don't care. But after that, I think that's when people really started looking to that Mobat Prime, like, maybe he's right about this too. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. But this thing out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere. I don't know what more you heard about it, but when I saw, and I'll come back to this image, but this is the list, right, that came out with TF World 2005, put out the entire list of everything that was coming 2025. And at the very bottom of that list was this, collaboratives. As soon as I saw Mobat Prime, I remember I reached out to you and I was like, look, there it is. And then this shit right here. I don't know. Do you have any? Because I could keep going, but what do you got? You got anything on that?
No, you know, a lot of things like these lists over time, they're pretty legit. And so once we see these lists come out, then we'll select some of these things. We don't cover everything, but it's funny because I was so laser focused on that MOTU collab, because a lot of our audience is Masters of the Universe. I totally missed.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. But yeah,
I totally missed the Vamp Hound, because all I saw was MOTU on there, and I was like, holy crap, what are they going to do? And let's talk about this. And then I think after that stream, I went back to this list and I was like, Vamp Hound, that's pretty freaking cool. So I just wrote an article about it. And, you know, the way that we do stuff, we don't know what these things are going to look like, what figures are going to come with at this stage. And so what we like to do is showcase the vintage stuff. Like, hey, here's Hound as a Transformer. Here's the Vamp as a GI Joe vehicle. Talk about some history. And, you know, on the stream, we'll talk about what the possibilities could be, which is fun. That's how the website and our YouTube channel work in concert with each other.
Synergy.
Yes.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Yeah, Nikatrona says those Transformer lists are leaks, though. Yeah, they are. They're leaks. Yeah, they're intentional. But that's just how Transformers has been. They just kind of put it out. You know, here you go. This is like everything that's coming next year.
Yeah.
Suka says Mobatimus Prime. I like that. I never heard a nickname for the Sergeant Cup Triple T. Triple Cup?
Sergeant's Cup?
Yeah, I never heard a nickname for it. But I don't know. You have some of the crossovers, yeah?
I do. I have all of them.
Okay, so Mo is asking, do you just leave them in vehicle mode? That's all I would want them for, so I have passed on all of them so far. What do you do with them, Michael?
I actually put them in Transformers mode because I have the vintage vehicles, and so I don't need them in vehicle mode. I like to see them in their alternate robot mode. Like the Thunder Machine Soundwave, that Soundwave is sick. I was like,
yeah.
So well done.
I hope other people in the chat answered your question, Mo, because that's why we all get together and talk toys, right? So we can have numerous opinions and not just a couple of dum-dums on screen. That being said, I always get two of each. One's in vehicle mode, one's in bot mode. So I've gotten 2 of every one of them since they started. I will say, I have the Masterpiece Soundwave over here, and the Thunder Wave in robot mode, he is much larger than the Masterpiece Soundwave.
He's a big
So
boy.
he doesn't have all the vac metallized parts and all that stuff. And, you know, he looks like a Thunder Machine, but I like him. And it's, you know, it's large when it's transformed. That cup is perfect.
Yes.
It's freaking perfect. The way that his forearms are the shock absorbers, it's too incredibly well done. I cannot say that enough.
The way that they hide the coloring in the teal that Cup had as a transformer in vehicle mode, like there's a lot of engineering that goes into these things and a lot of really cool design decisions. And I want to see this wave continue this line continue for so long. I love it.
And I always grab this one because it's right next to me and I don't have to get up. But the brilliance of this crossover line is that this is what counts. Alt mode. It has to interact with the figures and it has to look like said vehicle. Other than that, in robot mode, as long as your colors, you know, your colors are there in some form. Like, look at the Bumble Striker. He only has a little bit of yellow. He's also the only one that has vac metallized parts. I don't know why, but he's the only one. You get the head right, you put a little swath of whatever their original color is. Fuck it, send it. There it is.
Yep.
Striker. He's got like Forrest Gump braces on his legs, but it's Bumblebee. You know, like as long as they you know interact with the Joes in their alt mode, sky's the limit.
Yeah,
and,
it's like
I'm here for
Megatron's got a shopping cart, you know, on his back.
100% shopping cart. Yeah, and it's like, oh, put Baroness in the weird little kids, you know, race car shopping cart. No, I'm not gonna do that. But in alt mode, he looks damn good.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell him apart except for the gray on that angled piece in the front and the, you know, obviously the armament, but it's a perfect sized, perfect scaled hiss. Next to all my other hisses, you couldn't pick it out unless you walked right up to it.
Yeah.
So, Man of Action says the figures that come with those vehicles are low quality. I mean, I guess, yeah, that's an opinion. I'm going to say, having put my hands on all of them and most of the Reaction Super 7 Joes, I'm going to say they feel better in my hands than the Reaction Plus. But that's my opinion. So
yeah. Yeah, the plastics feel different. I don't know, like when I hear quality, I think of like Paint App and also do these things just explode or come apart all by themselves, or is it just like total
like
package look and feel?
Come on, she was coming out of the box and her arm was just falling off.
Right, that's a quality issue. That's
a quality issue. Yeah, I don't know, Man of Action. I think a lot of it is the production isn't like it was in the 80s and 90s anymore. Like, even if you put your hand on a Leonard the Core figure from 2000s versus 80s, they feel different. So yeah, I don't know. But you're entitled to your opinion, my dude, and I appreciate it one way or the other.
The card backs on the crossover figures are very low quality compared to what Super 7 card backs are. Like Super 7 card backs, I will agree with that. Yeah. You can bend and flex those and not make a dent in them.
Because they're thick. I was so late with that. Hold on, wait, one more time. Ready? We'll edit that out. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Because they're thick.
That's what she said.
I was so far behind on that. I'm sorry, people. I didn't mean to do it. Jeffy's asking, you'd think it would come with Duke and Hawk. The Mobatimus, that's such the Mobat Prime. It's just Hawk, dude. I mean, that is confirmed. That is 100% confirmed. So it's just Hawk. I don't know. Nobody knows what makes them make those decisions. Like this vehicle comes with 2, this vehicle comes with 1, whatever.
Yeah. The only thing that I don't want are, I don't know. We have so many Snake Eyes in the classified series, for example. It's like we don't need any more Snake Eyes figures, right? Like they've done that Storm Shadow Snake Eyes 2-pack. We don't need another repack of Snake Eyes in one of these. But I get it. They want to get rid of the figures that they have on stock, so they repack them and put them out somewhere else.
But that could also be an added leg up to your argument. They did Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, and they did Duke and Cobra Commander. You haven't seen Cobra Commander come with one, right?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of busts my argument of greatest hits, because I don't know if Zorana really falls under greatest hits, but we got Zorana.
How about moving forward?
I don't know.
Let's do greatest hits moving forward.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. K-Mac is asking, have any of you gotten the new classified wave yet? I'm pretty sure he's talking to the chat and to you, because he's not asking me.
No, I've actually stopped collecting the mainline classified figures, and I'm only collecting the retro card back figures, just so I can have a larger scale, with the vintage one that I have. I like mixing scales like that. I got really tired of buying 2 of these things of like, hey, here's an eels, and then they come out with a eels that has a lighter colored skin color, and that's a retro back figure for some reason. So
nice.
But no, I have not got the latest wave. I didn't even order the latest wave.
I think we're gonna have yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I think we're gonna have a problem. John Garrett says, I saw there's a list for classified on Facebook. Take that with a grain of salt, but it's 4 figures that are in a wave, which I thought they were going back to 5. Didn't Emily really push that they were going back to 5?
I didn't hear that.
But that last one was 4, wasn't it? Saw Viper, Xandar, Dial Tone, and some
Leatherneck.
Leather. Yeah, okay. Either way. Okay, moving on. Snake Eyes version 4, which we knew they were doing.
Yep. Oh,
Monkey Wrench.
Yeah.
Night Viper and Sci-Fi.
These are all on their name. Like, these been named already. So I guess
so the name.
The fun part is like they have a list of name only reveals, and it's fun to see like, okay, how are they going to put all this stuff together?
Yeah, right? And you started seeing all the little production samples of Blowtorch kind of coming together.
Yeah. So I'm like, he's my all-time favorite GI Joe figure ever.
Blowtorch?
Yes.
Sweet.
And I'm on the fence because I know that they're going to make a retro card back version in his normal colors, and so I'm like, do I wait? I have the vintage one, and I'm fine with it. I'm good. I'll just wait. I'll practice some patience, which is very hard for me.
Now, are they gonna do a retro card back version of Low Light? Because they did the Mad Marauders Low Light, right?
Yeah.
I gotta say, there were only a couple of Joe characters that were gonna test my resolve with not doing classified. Low Light, Serpentor, Monkey Wrench, probably Sci-Fi, and I would have said Storm Shadow version 2, but they aped that. He looks like Mortal Kombat. Just a personal opinion, I think he looks like shit. Whatever. That's cool, John Garrett. Thanks, man. Did you see the leak with the green shirt and all that stuff?
Yeah.
I saw it, and I saw it on a very active Facebook GI Joe group, and nobody gave a shit. It had 23 likes and 10 comments, and I'm like, to me as an outsider, I am a GI Joe guy, but that scale to me, it's I look at it academically. I don't see really massive engagement when it comes to Joe in that scale or even that line. I just see like some, like maybe because it's just expected that it's just like, meh.
Are you talking about just the green shirt army builders that they try to do, or is it all of the all
It
of
was
the
that
line?
whole retro wave that they just
Mm,
showed the production samples of, like the retro Televiper.
crystal
There was
ball? No, not crystal ball. Oh yeah, we
the
did
green
cover
shirt
that on
and a
the site.
couple others. It was like 5 retro figures all laid out on a table, and there was like 10 comments on this thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I think because the retro figures, there's not a lot of change to them. Like they try to make them match the original paint that they might have had in their in the 80s, right? That's the only thing that they're doing.
And not do that Televiper bullshit with that. They paint the bare arm black.
Right. But what I would love for them to do is actually include like a replica of the vintage weapon that they came with. And sometimes they do that and sometimes they don't. And it's a head scratcher when they choose to and when they don't. I really
is
don't
the
know.
Viper getting that signature Viper rifle?
He's getting he's getting one that's similar, but it's not the same. And it's like,
Right.
just if you're going to make a new weapon that looks similar, just make the vintage weapon.
Gotcha. Yeah.
If you're going to do a retro figure, do it right.
Yeah. Chris from Cutthroat is asking, how many crossovers are we getting with GI Joe Transformers? Well, for 2025, we're actually getting 2, which kind of going back to that topic. So when this list came out, let me make it a little smaller so I can leave Chris's comment on the screen. When this list came out, the Hound Vamp was, it wasn't even whispered. To me, it felt very much like the retro Stinger that came out, where everybody knew that they were going to do a live stream and it was going to be like, these are the pre-orders and blah, blah, blah. And you know in advance what's coming. And then at the end of the stream, they were like, oh, and this just went up, boom. And they dropped it on the table. And, the 118 people were like, where the frig did that come from? Nobody saw that vehicle coming.
No. And that happens to us on our side too. Like with the Thundercats Masters of the Universe crossover.
Yeah.
Like we know the first 6 regular figures, but Skellra, the Skeletor Mumra crossover came out of nowhere. We were like, what the F is that?
That head sculpt is cool. I gotta say that head sculpt is cool.
It is. And I think it's nice to get surprises like that too.
Yeah. And this was a very welcome surprise, but I saw this list. I felt the warm fuzzy because I was like, oh, look, once again, I don't want to say like, look, I wasn't full of shit, because I know I wasn't full of shit, but things change. But I was happy to see that it was coming this year. Because remember, the Sergeant Cup Triple T got delayed several months. They were supposed to announce it on that one live stream where Emily even said, we're going to have some stuff for the 118 people. And then they never did it.
Mm.
And then I pinged my person. I pinged my person. And I said, well, what the hell? Like, that was supposed to be put out. And they're like, no, they're saving it for Comic-Con. You'll see why.
Yeah.
And this, as soon as I saw this, and I was like, hey, where did this come from? My person said no one knew that was coming. It was literally just put that on the list. And you can tell how hasty it was just by looking at Vamp Hound like that.
Yes.
It doesn't show anything like crossover, plus Vamp's all caps, right? And the way that it's written in there is very hasty. But I was happy to see that they're going to do 2 Joe crossovers in 2025.
Yeah, I'm happy about that too. I want this line to continue for a long time. And I don't know how many we're getting. And I guess it depends on how well they sell, right? I guess that's how all toy lines go.
Well, there's one more that still has to be announced. And that's the Titan.
Yes.
And is it only going to be one? Is it going to be several? There's a lot of good arguments for Night Raven Starscream because of the, in the Devil's Due, Night Raven or Starscream was a Night Raven, and he was Cobra Commander's like personal chariot. There's also a lot to be said for Jetfire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I mean, that's a wait and see thing. That's another one that I'm holding my breath on. Like, I don't know if they pulled the plug on that.
Oh, I really hope they didn't, and I really want to see that because they're re-releasing some of the Titan class Transformers now. So like Triptychon is getting.
I got Scorponok and Fort Max.
Oh my god. Yeah, Scorpion. Yeah, Fort Max is. I have one of those, and he is amazing. So freaking cool.
Very top heavy.
Yes.
Very top heavy. I tried to put him in like the generic action pose with one leg forward, one leg back, and he literally just folded.
He's top heavy like me.
Yeah. And the shitty thing is, not only did he fold, but you heard the ratchets like as he folded over and hit the ground. But whatever.
Yeah, I totally did. I got some of the upgrade kits for that Fort Max and totally redid the ratchets and some of the stuff to kind of make it extra special.
Yeah, nice. Suka says if they do a vamp, they are doing a vamp. You can almost guarantee a Stinger version will happen as well.
Okay.
Barricade?
Mm.
I mean, just right off the top of my head, you know, I don't know. I could see them doing that, yeah, because it's literally the same. It's the same mechanisms, the same design, everything.
Yeah.
Why not? Just give him a big missile launcher on his shoulder. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the thing would sell. It might sell even better than a vamp because I think probably people are more akin to getting Cobra vehicles.
Yeah, yeah. Al Jordan says that's a weird Jeep looking tank. I was gonna give him the shut your mouth again, but I'm not. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah. Comrade Bobcat, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Zaymot Rogue, thank you for being here as well. We still got some people cruising in. World Made of Cardboard said they released Clutch with the classified vamp, so they might just do it with this one. World Made of Cardboard, I like you. You're a nice guy. We've hung out IRL. I will gentlemen's bet you $1 when I see you at DFW this June that it will not be Clutch. $1. Gentlemen's bet. Will you take that bet, World Made of Cardboard, for one brand new dollar or 4 shiny new quarters? Yeah, that's my bet to you. Justin Booth gifted a channel membership. Now we got to do this, Michael. We're contractually obligated.
Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah. Thank you, Justin Booth, and congratulations to whoever got that. I don't have my stream up while we're doing this, so I like a good surprise. It's all the same for me. Comrade Bobcat is still holding out for the Starscream Night Raven.
I'm looking at mine right now, and my Night Raven, yeah.
And that's the thing. For those of us who own, you know, the original Real American Hero Night Raven, that is a Titan size. It's not a Titan, right? Because Titan are named characters or, you know, bases and whatever you want to call them. But as far as size, easily he would be Titan size. But why do you? Here's my only thing, and I know this is just first world problems. It's just some Dolly guy bitching about Dolly stuff, but why do you want a Megatron that's 11 inches tall with a Starscream that's like 30? You know what I mean?
I was thinking about that too.
Starscream, why is he that big?
Right.
But I would love to see it. 100%. I would be all about it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, give me Thundercracker and Skywarp and we got a deal.
Dang.
Just saying. So, you could do like when they put out Masterpiece Starscream, you know who was right behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's too easy. Collab HW Hot Wheels, maybe. Well, we can take a look at a little more of this list.
Yeah.
I know we're kind of bouncing back and forth, but I enjoy that. I only had a couple things for you and me to talk about, and then, you know, we just hang out with the chat. So the Sonic collab, did you see that, Michael?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. Kind of looks like McDonald's Happy Meal toys, but whatever. That's cool.
Yeah, it's okay.
I know a lot of people are into Sonic, so I'm all for that. Transformers Macros. That's that fire, Kai. I know a lot of people saw Transformers Macros and immediately they thought Jetfire, but no. Mandrake. Do you know anything about that?
No, I do not.
Me either. Mandrake.
Mandrake.
Interesting. MOTU. Obviously, you're all over that, right?
Yeah, that was a big surprise for us because I never imagined in my whole life that we would see a Masters of the Universe Transformers collab ever.
That's that freaking handshake deal where they were gonna, cross over brands. And did you hear about the Ninja Turtle Joes? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did hear about it. Some of the stuff can get ridiculous.
But the new foot soldiers that just came out, they look, the new 4-inch foot soldiers, they look perfect. They fit right in with Techno Vipers, and I don't have a problem with that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
I don't know about Ninja Turtle Joe.
Yeah. I guess it's like where do you draw the line? It was funny because when we had a stream or we released this on the website, we look at the comments on Instagram and YouTube and people were like, why don't they do like My Little Pony Transformer Little People cross? It's like, yeah, stuff was getting ridiculous.
Okay, you could do, are you ready? Here we go. $1 million idea. My Little Pony Transformer Stridor.
Oh,
right.
It's a one and done,
but it kind of just looks like Stridor. But it's got like a rainbow on its ass,
right? It's got a rainbow tail.
I have no idea. Hunter Prime says Project Bear. What if that's Care Bears? I don't even know who owns Care Bears. Is that Mattel?
That's a good question. I wish there was some way to
find out.
Look that up.
Project Bear, yeah, no idea. And then collab HW Hotel Whiskey. Do you know anything about that? Is that Hot Wheels?
I have no clue. Yeah, they're the only things that stood out to me on this was the Transformers MOTU. I couldn't imagine what the Batman collab would look like unless they're going to do like a Batmobile or like the Batwing from, like the 1989.
Yeah, either 89 or Forever or whatever. I mean, you could even do the Bat from the Dark Knight Rises. Mm-hmm. I liked that vehicle.
Yeah.
The movie was shit, but I like that vehicle.
I could see a Hot Wheels collab because they're cars and the bread and butter of Transformers.
Transformer with a Hot Wheels like deco on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or just like a Hot Wheels car that transforms into some robot. I don't know. Like it's a Hot Wheels looking car. I don't collect Hot Wheels. I just watch the gaggle of Hot Wheels collectors run speed walk to the Hot Wheels section. And
those Hot Wheels guys, they will push your grandmother down. Like, us Dolly people think that we're bad. No, but see, when I hear Hot Wheels Transformer, I think of a GoBot. That's what I think of, right?
Pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't think of like anything major because what are Hot Wheels? They're just small die cast, right? Like this Transformer or like this GoBot. They're just small die cast everyday cars. So I don't know. Could be Hot Wheels.
Yeah, and do they have to transform too? I was reading one of the comments from Drew, like, and they have a diecast Optimus Prime Hot Wheels coming out. Like, do they have is the main thing for this? Do they transform?
Yeah. What if it's a reverse collab, not a Hot Wheels that transforms, but Transformer Hot Wheels?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Could be.
It's like a Megatron like G2 tank. It wouldn't be his gun form. They can't do that anymore.
I'm so upset about that. But I have I'm staring at the vintage one in box, so I'm good.
Yeah. Zaymot Rogue says, yeah, give me that Stink Scream figure. This freaking guy right here. Stink Scream.
Yeah. There's so many talented people that do concepts, and I think these concepts came out, gosh, maybe like 4 or 5 they came out a long time ago. And it wasn't somebody saying like, oh, MOTU and Transformers are doing collab, let me draw these things up. Like, these have been out for a long time. And so we like to look for inspiration of like, hey, what the heck could this be? And I came across these and I was like, oh my gosh, if they did this, this would be, one, insane, and two, like, I would love this. There's a couple ways that they could do this, but
yeah,
they're pretty cool concepts.
There's a few that I was like, nah, but I guess you can't really call it Skeletron, can you? I mean, that's the low-hanging fruit, Megator. Right. I don't know. You can't really say Skeletron because that's been around for a long time. The Megatron Skeletor and frickin' Trapjaw Soundwave. First of all, like, if Soundwave isn't your favorite Transformer, shame on you. And the frickin' Trapjaw Soundwave head is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know about Panther as Ravage because it's just purple Ravage. It makes sense, but at the same time, it's like that. Out of any of this, that feels kind of a gimme. I don't want to say low rent, but it feels like a gimme.
Yeah,
I think they're cool. Suka says the Stinger would be Swindle. That's a good one.
Yeah,
I'm very far behind on my chat.
It's all good.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to my show. This is how it works around here. Yeah. Matt Rubin says, out of this list, I will back up again because we're back on the list. Out of this list, we already know about Mobat Prime. Yep, we knew about that for a while. Vamp Hound, which is new, but yeah. And there's pictures of the Sonic 2-pack and the Macros, which is the fire guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like seeing that stuff, it makes you pretty confident that there's really nothing on this list that's unless they change their mind. And we've been subject to that too. And sometimes I do caveat with like, hey, here are the figures that are coming out. They might, here's a wave that they might be in, but the toy companies reserve the right to change their mind. And that's what happened to, I think, some of the first leaks that we did with Masters. We got the names right and the characters, but they were like punted from wave 10. They were punted to wave 11.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. And, sometimes that just happens. I mean, you go all the way back to GI Joe Manimals and wave 2 was wave 1 and wave 1 never came out. Or look at the freaking, the Thundercats Super 7, right?
Yep.
Tony Horton, finally, I'm able to catch the show live again. Very cool. What's the new time spot? Sunday, 5:00 Eastern is the new time spot that I had to move into. So yeah,
it's a good time.
It is. It's a good time spot because then it's like 5:00 when I'm done, and then the Hella Dope guys are on at 9 p.m. Eastern, and it's still TGIS, but I like it. It works out.
It's 2 hours less than me, so I still get the rest of my evening, which is nice.
Right? There you go. Just Jeff is asking, Michael, maybe you know, why is it so difficult to find the Top Gun Transformer crossover?
God, did they just not make enough of them? I mean, I don't know. That's a good question because I did see it at one point, and then poof, it was gone.
I don't know, Jeffy. I'm sorry. I hope your dog's okay.
That's we get the same questions. There was one Deluxe Turtles Masters crossover, Mutated Merman, that hit Walmart for a blink and then it was gone. And people were like, when's it coming out? And we're like, well, it came out like 6 months ago.
Oh, Suka says the Top Gun crossover was all over Walmart clearance. It may have been one of those things where by the time it got distributed to all the stores, like the SKU was just done. And you see that a lot with Walmart because their distribution, They care about duvets and pots and pans and stuff. They don't give a shit about toys.
Yeah.
So sometimes by the time they even the Connexes even get to the stores, they're like, just throw it on clearance.
That's funny because I've always wondered why that happens, and you've helped me answer that. That's something I'm like, why would something just released just go on clearance right away? And
that's why, like, you'll go into a store and you'll hunt for, say, this specific toy forever, and Target does it too. You know, you'll hunt and hunt and hunt and hunt. And I'm not even a classified guy, but I saw it with like Tiger Force Recondo, and you never see it, and then the next time you see it, it's already marked down.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, who knows when those Connexes get to those stores. Jesse from JLS is asking, is MOTU collab the same as the two-legged battle cat thing I saw the other day?
No, actually. So the MOTU, the battle cat you saw was their new Thundercats Masters of the Universe crossover. So it has nothing to do with Transformers. So the MOTU collab is going to be interesting because, you know, we could either see some of the concepts that you showed, or it just could be just one single vehicle that transforms, right?
Yeah.
And I think we did a poll to see like what people would want. Would they want a MOTU vehicle that transforms, or a regular Transformer that has some Masters of the Universe character as the robot, right? And most of the MOTU fans wanted a MOTU vehicle, you know, like the Battle Ram or something, to transform into a robot, which would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Just not the Rotund, you know.
No, definitely not. No, but I wouldn't put it past them because they put out the Roton in the Origins line, so they already have the mold for it. So I'm like, oh, please don't do that.
That's why I'm saying Stridor.
Yes,
Stridor, My Little Pony. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Stridor is great because he's already a mechanical horse.
Yeah,
he's not even like a.
So he already looks like a Transformer.
He's not a mammal.
No, he's not. He is not. GeForce Racing said my Walmart had all of the Nacelle toys on clearance for $15. Wow. Dang it. Again, I don't know. So you're talking about like everything, or was it just I'm doing my thing, I'm sorry, with the hand puppet animals, but they didn't come with the hand puppet animals. Yes, thank you. Was it just Sectars, or was it like biker mice? I don't know what Walmart carries of Nacelle. But.
I didn't pick up on that. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, this is how far behind I am. This Bumblebee with Forrest Gump legs. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Like so 45 minutes ago.
Yeah. It kind of was. What about a masked Transformers collab?
That would be insane. I'm already looking forward to the Loyal Subjects bringing masks back, but like this would be very interesting because like the mask line was, they weren't proper Transformers. They were vehicles that transformed into other vehicles. And so it'd be interesting to see like what they would do with that. I just like seeing the toys again, to be honest.
Yeah.
In whatever form they come in.
I gotta say that, and I can only really speak to the Joe collabs when we're talking about Transformer stuff. I've seen the Ectotron. I've seen like Talib's talking about the Knight Rider one. I've seen several of them, but the Joe collabs, like the box, the way that it sleeves on both sides, and one side's a Transformer, one side's a Joe, and you open it up in the inner box. I think they nailed it with that freaking box. The presentation, the art, all of it. I love them. I keep them, and I don't really keep a lot of stuff in boxes. But.
No. Are they still doing hints on those boxes? Because I remember the first couple, they were like, you could decipher pretty much what was coming next from their little clues, but I don't know if they're doing that anymore. Because I throw the boxes away and I don't look at them anymore.
Somebody was trying to say that on the Triple Cup or Couple T or whatever the shit you want to call it. Someone was trying to say that in the little blurb from Sarge on the back of the box, there was a hint, but I didn't pick up on a hint.
I didn't either. I read that.
I already knew what was coming, and so did you. So who cares? You know, it's like it didn't matter. They hadn't even, that was before they even said Mobat Prime is coming in 25.
Yeah. We can be the hints. There you go.
Yeah. Talib says Knight Rider was probably the most recent Transformer crossover that did a great robot mode. It helped that it's a transforming sports car.
Yeah, that was a really nice one because it had sounds too, like in lights.
It was cool. JLS says Aliens Transformers could be cool. Transforming APC and the Cheyenne dropship. Man, that thing would be massive. That's what she said.
I've rewatched Aliens, the whole, like all of them, probably like 4 or 5 times within the last 2 years. I just keep going on a loop with Alien for some reason. I mean, it's just good.
You saw Romulus?
Yes.
What'd you think?
I liked it a lot. I like when they reference other movies in the franchise. So I like to see like where does this movie take place in the lore? Because that's why I started watching them again, because it was like, oh, I see an exploded ship from the first movie, and I was like, oh, so my mind goes and like starts to connect the two, and
the Nostromo.
I'm so bummed, yes, that they did not do they had the prequel with Prometheus and Alien Covenant, and then Covenant didn't do well. I really loved it, and that blocked that final like prequel sequel. I'm like, that would have been amazing. Anyway, sorry. As I digress.
No, I didn't have a problem with Romulus. I guess now they're doing a Romulus sequel. Whatever. Kirsten Fenner, channel member for 9 months. Thank you, my friend. He uses his Chad Chat trademark. It's Chad 2024. It says, TGI, it's Chad. Great show, great guest. F the haters. Thank you, my friend. That's exactly what I'm saying. I appreciate you very much. I got a lot of starred stuff. Yeah. Oh, Maximilian Tucker renewed his channel membership. Thank you, Maximilian. And again, most speedy recovery, my friend.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, Hal Jordan had a public service announcement, Michael. He said, but remember, Masters of the Universe Classics is dead. No. No.
Yeah, it's funny. I do bring that up a few times, and whenever like the new stuff comes out or it hits retail again, there was some chucklehead that was responsible for the Classics brand putting out that Masters was dead. Origins was done. They're not making any more Master stuff, and we got a shit ton more Master stuff since then. So I think that's the thing with leaking information like that too. And it's like, I'm sure this person, I've seen him try and defend himself, and he had the information that he had, and that's what he had to go on. But when you're talking about a line going down versus like, hey, here's an action figure coming out, like those are two very different things.
Yeah. I caught, like, I'm nobody. I'm like this big, and I caught so much shit for that Cup Triple T that I can't imagine the maelstrom of caca that guy gets still to this day.
Yeah.
The toy guru, right? But,
yes.
I mean, it is what it is. That's that whole Blade Runner thing, like you're right on the edge, and it's one thing to say like, hey, I heard this, spill it, and then say, but bear in mind things change. And I remember when I was talking about Mobat Prime, I even said, like I stressed in that video, remember Battle Corps Rangers was gonna happen for 1995, and it never happened. So understand that things change, right? So Sergeant Savage was supposed to be the new, thing for GI Joe, and they freaking killed it before it hit shelves. Wow. So, you never know. Zakanin, channel member for 8 months. Thank you, my friend. Says MOTU stink scream. Let's friggin' go.
Yes.
a stink or Starscream.
With the smell too, with the patchouli smell,
good.
right?
It's good. And you need like a Moss Man something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Moss Man Jetfire? Probably wouldn't work.
I was like, what else? What's an Autobot?
Probably wouldn't work. But
no.
What? Yeah. Why is the guy who looks and smells like the ground flying around? But
right.
Zaymot Rogue, channel member for 8 months, says Hasbro botched the twins in classified. Fuck them. How so? Do you have the twins in classified, Michael?
I do.
I don't.
Yeah. I also have them. In
I see them right behind
me.
Yeah. I picked them up too. I know that 2-pack was a Big Bad exclusive, right?
Oh no, this is the vintage one.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I did.
I'm sorry.
I did also pick up the vintage one too, because I do like their characters.
Michael's got vintage toys in the box, people. I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah, you're right.
No, I'm
do you think that the classified one should have come in that mirrored 2-pack?
Yes, we were talking about that a lot when we heard that the twins were coming out, and I think that was a missed opportunity to make some sort of exclusive like that. I mean, how like a larger than life version of that mirrored 2-pack, because that mirrored 2-pack is iconic in and of itself, and to have a jumbo version of that, like how freaking cool is that?
What if they do them in a retro? Would you expect it to be like that?
Yes.
Or do you think that's part of the hubris, expecting them to do? I don't know. But if they are going to do a retro carded version of the twins,
that would
to
be
me, it seems like that's the perfect opportunity to take all that feedback that they've heard from people time and again. The twins should have been on a mirrored 2-pack.
Yeah.
And then I think if they don't, then I'm definitely going with Zaymont Rogue here with that. That's intentional. That's an intentional fuck you right there. So.
Yeah. Yeah. The Toy Sorceress did something cool with that Super 7 twins package. She put the vintage twins in there. Like, I know it still has the their business suit attire as the card back.
Yeah.
For extensive enterprises, but it's kind of cool to just see them in that 2-pack again.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. If you're going to market two guys that are mirrored images of each other, like the little mirrors on the sides is perfect.
Yeah.
It's something that should not have been messed with, in my opinion.
Yes.
Our good friend, Matt Tracker Rubin, channel member for 9 months, says, fun thing about the Starscream Night Raven. In the Machine Wars line, Starscream had an alt mode that was a more blocky version of the Night Raven. Yeah. And take a good hard look at that Rise of Cobra Night Raven. There you go. Right. Which, by the way, the Rise of Cobra Night Raven is 100% the MiG-31 from Firefox. Fight me if you say otherwise. Yeah. That's what I say. Our good friend Zakanen gifted 5 channel memberships. Thank you, Zakanen. This is for you, my friend. I love you.
Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Masterson42, channel member for 8 months. He gets a salute because he was an officer. He says, Army. Sup? What's up, Air Force? Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Daredevil Dave, awesome channel member. Fantastic guy, says, what's up, Chad Holes, for $2. What's up, Dave? What's up? Good to see you. Brian, our 49er Brian, channel member for 6 months, says, bring on a Transformers Jetfire Sky Striker. It's a no-brainer.
Yep.
But then again, wasn't Hound? Hound was a no-brainer. Hound took what? 4 years. I want to say 4 years since that collab started.
Yeah.
Better late.
Yeah. I mean, when you release one a year, it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, that's true. But now, now we're seeing them pump that up. But this goes back to what Cox, his name is Cox. Chris Cox was saying as far as leaning on their brands more than partner brands. And I think we're starting to see, I understand this is the handshake. A lot of this is the handshake stuff with Mattel, but to do 2 Transformer Joe collabs, which are both their lines. I know the Takara thing, but it looks like they're trying to push back in that direction. So
Yeah, I would welcome that if they did 2 of those a year. Like it's a really solid, it's a fun line to do.
it really
And it's
is.
funny
Yeah.
when you mentioned you got 2 of each. I got 2 of each for the different reason. I wanted to keep the Joe, like the carded figures on
Yeah.
card, and open them
Yep.
up too. So yeah, it works both ways.
And confession of the day, I never opened any of the figures from any of the collabs until Leatherneck and Sergeant Slaughter. All the rest of them I gave away because, the one of the Baronesses I kept for the ma'am because she's, real big in the Baroness. But other than that, people would say, "Oh, hey, like if you get these figures, like I'll take them." So I just gave them away.
That's great.
I'm not much of an O-ring guy. I'm more of a modern construction figure guy. So if somebody else wants them, I'll share them. But I agree with Brian. And elephant in the room. Jetfire Sky Striker makes sense because one, they did it, the San Diego Comic-Con crossover, and it's brilliant. It's a perfect vehicle. The size of it goes with Titan just for size alone. But we're getting 2 Autobots right after we just got an Autobot.
Yeah.
Where's the Decepticon in that mix?
Yeah.
I found that a little weird to do 3 basically hero characters, vehicles, and no Decepticon or Cobra offering.
Yeah, I found that weird too, and it happens in other properties too, like the recent Thundercats MOTU crossover reveals. They're releasing 6 heroes as their first 3 figures, minus Skelraw, which is the 7th. It's a deluxe figure, which we didn't know about.
With the
So
wings,
that's a head scratcher because I would think, the Decepticon aspect of these and Cobra would probably be more. I don't know if they're more or less appealing. I don't know if people like Cobra vehicles more than Joe vehicles, but yeah, I do find that weird that you would think that there would be some pattern, but it doesn't look like there's a pattern.
Yeah. But if they could do, let's say the Stinger and Swindle, like Suka said, or whoever else, name a Decepticon, because they're doing the Vamp already. Well, if you're doing the Mobat, what's to stop you from doing the Cobra Cat, the Crimson Attack? Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Just redo it black and red.
Mm-hmm.
Bam, there you go. And then maybe that could be Barricade. I don't know.
That would be a perfect one because nobody really has that one probably in their vintage collection, right? So that would be a fun
Crimson
one.
Attack Tank?
Yeah, that would be a fun one to get. Like yes. I'm saying most people.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
I'm looking at mine too.
Okay. Yeah, but
it would be a fun one to get.
I agree. Yeah, I think that you could do the Mobat Prime and then you could do a Crimson Attack Tank. Why not? Like,
yeah,
all these lines do reuse. It's nothing new at all.
I'm surprised we haven't seen an MMS yet in Classified, just because their HMS has been out for so long, because they usually do a back-to-back repaint, right? And I was like, oh, for sure it's gonna come next, right?
No. And that's why I cracked that joke about the freaking Python Patrol Cobra Flight Pod. I was like, that was a faster repaint than freaking Mission Brazil. Half the people didn't get the joke, right? But it was almost immediate, and it was cheaper. That was kind of fucked up. So
yeah, but actually that's how it should be.
I could see that. My only issue with that is when they do, let's say they did the Amazon Storm Shadow, right? And then they announced the Classified Storm Shadow version 1.
Yes.
Before that was even in people's hands, they announced the retro Storm Shadow, and a lot of people started canceling that other Storm Shadow to get the retro Storm Shadow. It's like, just give it a couple minutes to breathe
Yeah.
You know, I understand. Yeah, sure. It's a Python Patrol, you know, trouble bubble. It makes sense. Who didn't see it coming? You know, like, where's the tiger paw? Yeah, there you go. Right. There's your Python Patrol. Yeah. Jeff Morris, our good friend Mo, says, look at that. I've been a chat hole for 8 whole months. Yes, you have, my friend. Thank you very much for that. Let me see if I can find something festive just for you.
It's science, people! Science!
I had to take out the end of that because a lot of people are saying that last scream is just too much. Too much. GeForce Racing said his Xandar and Leatherneck arrived. Haven't opened them.
Ooh, I like his Battle of the Planets. GeForce.
I know, right? GeForce.
Yes.
Yeah. Man of Action saying sci-fi before Bazooka. They did Bazooka.
Yeah, Bazooka's been done in Tiger Force and regular.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, per classified rules, Tiger Force is his version 1. Take that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did both Bazookas. Unless you mean before Zap or Flash. Flash? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, they did 2 of them. Here you go. Look at this. Always. Always. No. Dude, but how cool would a freaking sea spray whale be?
Oh, that would be freaking cool.
I would get behind that. But if they did a sea spray whale before they released the Battle Corps Ranger Seawolf version of the whale, I would go have words with somebody in Rhode Island. Because you're dumb.
Take a road trip.
Yeah.
On their
I'll
door.
take a road trip. GeForce Racing says, I'd be down for sci-fi and Airtight. I like Airtight.
Airtight's great.
Yeah, I think he's a cool character.
Yeah. I got his international version still in a bag, but his Tiger Force repaint from, I think it's Brazil or somewhere, but Arpuro. I like the international variants a lot. I'm actually, so the one thing that classified Tiger Force did right for me was releasing that Tiger Force Outback first. That made me happy.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was like the European.
That's one of my favorite European figures.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I don't have beef with him, but Doomed says, I think Lenny said they could conceivably do a retro card back of everyone.
Yeah.
Don't see why not.
No. And if all they're doing is just slightly changing the paint color on all of them and putting them on a clear bubble and a card back, do it.
Yeah.
Make some more money.
I hear you. Tristan T says Lowlight was the first ever Joe I remember getting as a kid. He was a must-have for me. Lowlight, my friend, is 100% always my favorite GI Joe. So that's why he was my litmus test for classified. Yeah. If they do a retro carded one, which again, somebody just said conceivably they could do one for anybody, which I don't see why not. I might buy him just to leave them on the card and stick them in my game room. I do have a couple of the retro carded figures in my game room, just, on their card backs. I don't have a problem with it. It's just,
do what makes you happy.
That's the way it should be, right? Mother Slug said, I stopped buying figures since November. Been collecting comic books. Great thing to fall back on. Did you get into comics, Michael?
Interestingly, you say I did back that GI Joe, a Real American Hero comic Kickstarter.
Yep.
And so I've been doing a Monday live stream because I never read the comics.
Right, you have been. I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the only comics that I've read, and I haven't started issue 17 because we haven't done the stream yet. We're doing 16 and 17 tomorrow. And so I'm reading these reacting to them for the first time. Which is,
so you never read the Joe comics as a kid?
I never read any comics as a kid.
Dude, okay. Wait. And I have like 5 of this issue. Wait till you get to like right here. Oh, Wait till you get to the later 40s. The
Damn.
freaking the Hama Marvel run creation of Serpentor, so much better. It's so much like, please, everybody in the chat, don't spoil anything for Michael because he sees ahead in the chat stuff I can't see. Wrenches, if somebody puts in there about a certain somebody and a beach and the Baroness, please take that out. But dude, when you get to this, you're gonna be blown away.
I'm
It's
excited.
so good. I didn't back that because, like Mother Slug is saying, I have a thing about getting the individual issues, and I don't know, 18, 19 issues from being complete of the entire original Marvel run.
Wow.
And I like having them individually, on the backer boards and just being able to like, just thumb through the issue. I think it's cool they did it, especially for people who either don't have them or maybe don't want to manhandle them anymore. Whatever your reason is. But
yeah, I thought it was like it was a cool, like, economical way to like get introduced to the comics. And who knows, like that antique fair that I go to, like, actually let me know what you're looking for, because sometimes I'll see GI Joe comics there too.
Yeah, and there's something to be said to have that luxury where, I can go to a con or I can go in a shop and I can look around on the pegs or whatever and be like, nah, there's no dollies or anything I want to get. I'm going to go rifle through the comics. And I have a running list in my phone of the issues I still need. And I'll just pull up the list, and I'll just thumb through some comics and maybe I'll find something, maybe I won't. But it's the thrill of the hunt,
Yes.
Man of Action says 6-inch figures are on their way out. Now, there was something else in these images that I wanted to chat with you about. You've already seen it. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't see any indication that they're on their way out. I could be wrong, but I don't know. It's a bold statement, Man of Action.
I mean, it's definitely an opinion, right?
Yeah, which is fine.
I know a lot of people, and there's been several comments in the chat already about, I stopped collecting this, or I stopped like you said yourself, you stopped collecting mainline classified. You're only going for the retro card backs. Other people are saying like, I'm an OG 13 guy. I'm only waiting for those, or like Madgus here says the other day I had Storm Shadow in hand and I didn't feel the urge to pull the trigger. I put it back. But kind of going off of what Madgus, everybody else, Man of Action. So Valaverse put out a video on Saturday, and the title of it is "Are 6-inch Vehicles Doomed in the Toy Market?" So, Bobby sat down with Matt, who's his videographer, and he talked about the Vanguard, the Ramen Racer, the Dragonfly, the Hiss, etc., and just the size of these vehicles really, it's almost like a weight around your neck. It takes up so much space that it kind of keeps you from wanting to get too many. And when you and I talked about it backstage, not only did you show me your HasLab Ghost, which is 1/18 scale, but it's 3 feet. That's the size of a Dragonfly. But you also said that you still have what to unbox?
I still have to unbox my Dragonfly because I don't know what to do with it and where to put it right now.
Right.
That's the problem. Like, I love that they're doing 6-inch vehicles because when I look in this room, I like seeing big things mixed with small things. The Dragonfly, an iconic vehicle. Like, I have the vintage one, but it's freaking cool to see like a huge 6-inch version of it that's different than what we got as a kid. But it's all about it's size, right? I mean, I have Eternia in here. I have Jabba's sail barge, the katana in here, and I'm like, and I had to jerry rig a platform for the Ghost because all I have is Billies. Like, none of these HasLabs fit on Billies except for some of the modifications that they did for the for the Rattler, but I don't want to display it like that. Like, I don't want to put the wings up on the Rattler.
Yeah, right. And you're still waiting on the freaking Rattler.
Yeah.
So then that's gonna compound it even more, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have a place for your Dragonfly by the time your Rattler gets there, then your first world problem has doubled in size. And
so
like I get it. I get the argument. I only have one 1/12 scale vehicle, and it's the Hiss. And thanks to Viper Scout and Jeff W for sending me the Hiss, I converted it to 1/18 scale. It does fit on the shelf, barely, but it fits.
Yes, I have one on the Billy too. I love your 1/18 scale conversion, by the way.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's all thanks to Viper Scout. I had no interest in that vehicle because I said all along, ever since they announced they were doing a Hiss, I said if they made it compatible to 2 scales like the frickin' RoboSkull Mark II from Skeletron, I'd have backed it. I know a bunch more people would have backed it, but it's Hasbro, big corporation. They don't need to cast a wide net. They don't care. But then when Viper Scout was like, hey man, like here's this real simple conversion, just get a Fortnite car. It's 2 screws and it just sits right down. As soon as he showed me that, I was like, damn it.
Boom.
I should have got one. Then Jeff W is like, oh, hey, you retired. It's your birthday. Here, I'll just send you this in the mail. Wow. So, I think, good deeds come around. So
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just think that this is just my opinion. And I shouldn't have to stress that, but I always find myself stressing it because people want to say that I'm, negative, or people like me who don't share common opinions, which I don't know why there is such a thing, but get called haters and all this stuff. That scale was made popular with spandex and superpowers. Nothing wrong with that. But when you try to take something that relies on fantastical, isn't world building, Spider-Man doesn't need a tank. Right? Iron Man doesn't need a helicopter. They're different kinds of toy lines designed for different things. And then you take these world building lines and you zap them up to that scale. People are inevitably going to say, where's the Vamp? Where's the Dragonfly? Where's, oh God, I hear people saying Sky Striker all the time. Like, you've got to be insane. But they want these things because it's peanut butter and jelly. There's a familiarity to it. If you only have jelly, you're missing something in that formula. To me, that's why I call it square pegs and round holes, because world building, that's why 1/18 scale has been popular for 40 plus years, because it's a scale that lends itself to world building. This is not. And as much as it can be, the more you upscale everything, the less anyone's going to be able to accommodate. That's just basic spatial intelligence. There's no way around that.
No. So. And that's what's preventing me from having a 3D printed classified scale Terradrome. I saw it on Instagram, but I think his handle was Fantastic Plastic or something. And
Steve's Toys designed the files. Yeah.
It was unreal. And so I started looking at the dimensions and looking around my space, and I was just like, as much as I would love to have it, I just can't do it.
Well, I showed you this backstage. Like, I mean, this is a 1/18 scale playset, and this is just a 2-story, bookcase style playset. Look at the size of this box.
It's huge.
That's not even assembled. These things are huge. I think people don't remember how large these toys are.
Yeah.
But
and I didn't watch this video. Was he saying that are they doomed as just like a general release, or
no, he was just kind of asking the questions of at what point is is
enough.
it going to be too much? Like when he's talking about the dragonfly in itself, he's like, I don't even have the tail like completely locked in because it's so big. I don't know where I'm going to put it, you know, and then he starts talking about not even discussing the rotors and things like that. And anybody who's hanging out in the chat, if you have not seen this video, I would suggest go watch it because it does raise some questions, some, you know, well thought out questions. And this is coming from a guy who, I mean, he has a 1/12 scale toy line.
Yeah.
So at least, you know, he's willing to ask those questions. And I respected that. I appreciated it.
Yeah. And I think if the earlier that toy companies do this, so like the Katzler, for example, like Super7 is, you know, people are getting the Katzler in hand. It's freaking ginormous. I don't know if you've seen one in
my
person.
Lord, yeah.
It's beautiful.
I haven't even seen it in person. But I know that Ryan from 3POA saw it in person at Comic-Con when you guys were there last year. And he said it's like ridiculously large.
Yes.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So I think the advantages are when you're first out with these huge play sets, you're going to see a big spike in interest in it. But as it goes on, like, yes, you're going to run out of room. And at some point, like, where do you draw the line? And what's got to give to fit all this stuff in a space, right? Because our spaces, they're limited. Like, we don't have infinite space.
Agreed. Oh, Talib says the Mandrake crossover is the Mandalorian. That's already been revealed. Thank you. That's from an hour ago.
Yeah. Who's counting?
Me, because I catch shit for it all the time.
Oh, do you?
Windblade asks, was there a listing for the Transformers Joe Titan price point found a bit back somewhere? Yes.
I don't think so. Was there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like $200 price range. So whatever that means, you know, 240.
Right. If you look at the regular Titan class Transformers just by themselves, they're between, you know, they're more than $200. So like,
yeah, I think the cheapest one I ever saw was like 230, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, people pay what they're going to pay, and it is what it is.
Look at this. World Made of Cardboard sends a $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. And says, I was fixing dinner. My wife told me I will gladly take that gentleman's bet, and I am even giving you money now. Well, then, maybe I'll owe you $6. How about that? So we'll see. What about mask Hot Wheels? So like a Hot Wheels Switchblade? I'd be down with that. You know?
Yeah.
Hot Wheels Condor would be like that big.
I know. I don't know. I'm not super into Hot Wheels, so I can't wrap my head around that.
I mean, I would buy them because I have like the Hot Wheels Megaforce. So I'd get down with that. Yeah. I'd buy them.
Yeah. But maybe they would look cool next. I mean, I do have the, you know, a lot of the mass toys behind me, so maybe they would look cool side by side.
Yeah, you do. All right, World Made of Cardboard. Bets on. You gave me $5. If you win, I'll give you $6. 6 brand new George Washingtons in hand by DFW. That's the bet. Zaymont Rogue sends $2. Thank you, my friend, and says, who was everyone's first Joe? Mine was Short Fuse. Who was yours, Michael?
I don't remember. I know,
really?
like, I know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I could make something up. But no.
For the microsecond, I was 50-50. You were going to say Breaker. A lot of people say Breaker. Mine was Flash.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I remember who my first Masters figures was, but I don't remember
and who was that.
It was Man at Arms.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah. Flash was my first. I just, I walked into a toy store. I guess they had just built that GI Joe end cap 1982, and I just saw this guy in OD green with the pads and the laser rifle, and I was like, mine. Yeah, right off the bat. Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. Lowlight's my number one guy. Flash was my first. You always remember your first. Always. Well, unless you're Michael, then you forget.
I know. Well,
yeah. Well, hold on. I got that for you. Ready?
yes.
It's okay. It's all good. Thank you, Zaymot Rogue, for the super chat. Impossible Pie. Awesome, dude. I just did a channel member video just for that guy. Classified Build-A-Figure Globulus. Missed opportunity.
I'm not a fan of the Cobra Law, but I understand the Build-A-Figure aspect. But for
so much to
Globulus,
unpack with that.
it is.
First of all, thank you for being a channel member for 8 months. Thank you for suggesting the channel member weekly video, and I hope you enjoyed it. That being said, so many people have beef with Cobra Law and the 87 movie. However, they'll still buy those damn figures because they're suckered into that Pokemon mentality of gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
I have seen people who have said, I freaking hate Cobra Law, but I'm still getting that.
Yeah.
In a way, I understand it. And in a way, I feel bad for them. Like, you can't detach yourself from little plastic people to the point where, like, if you don't like the story and you don't like the characters, why buy the dolly?
Yes.
But again, it's not my money. So,
yeah, that bit me in the butt with Nemesis Enforcer. Only because
Nemesis Immortal, actually.
Yeah, I know, right? Only because one of my good friends and old coworkers that I used to work with, his name is John Gang. He did the box art for Once a Man Cobra Commander. He's done some box art. He did the box art for Barbecue, and I found out after the fact, after it was sold out, that he did the box art for Nemesis Enforcer, and that is the only reason why I would buy one, because I want to support him. And so, anyway,
and I think that's fair because, Adam Riches did the box art for the Sergeant Slaughter. I thought that was really good looking box art. There was a lot of cool throwbacks on that box. I think Adam's a nice guy. I have a lot of his art, so I understand that.
Yeah.
Did I get that, Sarge? No, but I still understand the premise behind it.
Yes.
Here's my only thing about this comment right here. Yes, it makes sense, but you have to have enough of the figures that would make up the Build-A-Figure, let's say 5, maybe 6, if they do his stupid little pod. You have to have enough figures in enough circulation to be able to build the figure.
Yes.
Classified has a distribution issue. I don't know if it's Hasbro. I don't know if it's just that line. I don't know what it is. There are inconsistencies with big box retailers in different areas of the country where some get tons, some get none.
Yep.
I think that's the only thing that would stop a classified Build-A-Figure, is that I think it would cause more problems than it would hype people up.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely for the classified line. There are other lines that works really well for. It works really well with their Marvel line, because they release 6 figures. Like the Mattel does this with their WWE 6-inch or 7-inch line. They have Build-A-Figures, but they limit it to like 4 boxes that you could build a figure, right? And so there has to be enough of the figure and enough of the figures in the wave, because you can't spread it out for too long. Like,
yeah, it's a wave.
Right.
And when Classified's doing, and again, this isn't me shitting on 112 GI Joe, it's literal facts. When they're doing 4 figures in a wave, how are you going to build a figure in 4 figures? Especially Globulus, like the fucking tail alone.
Right. You need all 4 figures to make up the tail.
Yeah, and it would be cool. It would be. But I don't think that they're there.
No.
When Legends has a wave that's what, like 18 figures at some point.
Jeez.
At some point, they've had massive waves. Just the number of
It's-
SKUs is ridiculous. But
It's insane.
yeah, Impossible Pie. I love the idea. I think it would be rad, but I just don't think that Classified is there. And this is coming from a Joe guy. And I'm going to say this as a lifelong Joe guy, diehard since 1982, gun to my head, GI Joe all day. It's not that big of an IP. It's just not. This isn't 86 anymore. If you want to see what stuff is popular, go down the birthday aisle. You will never see GI Joe on the birthday aisle anymore because it is just not popular. It's very niche. So, and I hate to say it because it doesn't have to be, but
Right.
Yo Joe Jerk. I just want to give a big shout out to my buddy. They had their 100th episode last night. A bunch of us were on there. We had a fucking blast. I love you.
Awesome.
And congratulations. P.S. You suck. Go fuck yourself. It's yeah. I had to do that. Medieval Alchemist. The Transformers collabs are really awesome, especially because I'm going back to O-ring collecting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Bobby's face off the screen. What do you think? Let's just take that. Yeah. The whole time he's just like, he's just staring at us. Yeah. To follow up on that, Slacker Supreme says, I really don't understand why they are doing this when Super 7 is already doing O-rings. Hasbro needs to make up their minds. Michael, what do you think?
Well, I think that what Super 7 is doing is they're making totally different figures than what Hasbro is making. Like, I mean, we showed these off in the beginning. We're not going to see this from Hasbro.
Shit.
And it's, I know.
Drop the figure.
Oh, shit.
My Sergeant Savage hit the floor. Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry. And I think the last part of what Slacker Supreme says makes sense because Hasbro kicked off the Sky Striker HasLab with we're restarting the O-ring line, and that got so many people fired up thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to remake all of the figures. Oh,
I found him.
Okay, good. You can breathe now.
They did. You're right.
Yeah, and so I think what has happened is that the O-ring line had a start, and then it just stopped. And then we got dribs and drabs of O-ring stuff, and then we got the official license of Super 7 saying, "Hey, we're going to take over the O-ring line, but we're going to do it differently." And I applaud that. Like I would not want them to, like, as much as I would want to see like all of the like O-ring figures remade again, like that would be amazing in their card backs and stuff. Like something new is welcomed, in my opinion.
Yeah. So Hasbro, they again kind of going back to Joe as niche, right? They did re-release O-ring Joes. They did them in 2 packs. They were like fan channel only. They were hard to find. And when they only make so many, they're fan channel only, and then you're only going to sell so many because you got to go to like, the corners of the internet to find them. And then they go, well, it didn't sell well. No shit. Because, you piss poor effort, right? Piss poor planning prevents proper performance. They half-assed it. Like they half-assed this Walmart freaking retro line that the last 2 waves of that were killer. They were killer. That Cobra Officer and the Trooper are phenomenal figures. Plus, they have every point of articulation except for butterfly shoulders that a fucking 6-inch figure has. I digress. The thing with Super 7 is I like the fact that, and they were told this as well. Super 7, yeah, they know what their lane is. Their lane is stuff that's never been done. You got like the Cobra Snakelings, the Joe Mechanics, Raven, which is the female Night Raven pilot, on and on. Everything that you saw them do are all the obscure characters in Reaction. You guarantee they're going to do them in Reaction Plus because out of the fucking gate, this was one of the first figures and the one that you just held up, these were the two of the first characters they announced.
Yes.
Right? These two, blonde cover girl, Snake Eyes, and Sunbow Duke. Those were the first characters they announced, and I was like, that's what they're going to do. They're going to do Raven. They're going to do the weird ones. They'll probably do like a Dr. Venom and things like that.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. Comics, animation. That's where they are. Hasbro is what they call classic designs, which are your Ron Rudat, your Mark Penningtons, like the guys who designed all those figures for 82 to 94 Real American Hero. Those are the figures that you're going to see come with the Transformers stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I get Slacker's argument, and we're bifurcating this line where this person's making this and this company's making that and that company's making this, but it's kind of the way things are going now.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I don't think it's a bad problem to have. But at the same time, I'm also the guy who says I think Hasbro needs to stop paying Disney $500 million to make 3 different lines for Star Wars to try to make their money back when they in-house could make 3 different lines for Joe and keep all the freaking profit and not pay out $500 million for an IP where you're forced to make Rose Tico. I have always said that. I will always say that because I think that's a bad business decision since Disney basically put Star Wars in the ground. That's just me. That's just my opinion. But I don't know. Stillwind 87, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Speaking of Intel, any news on that subscription Joe line? We kind of touched on that earlier. No. I have no news. Was that like a year and a half ago? Roughly?
Yeah.
So the Haya contracts still stand, Stillwind, where Haya can only distribute their 4-inch Joes, and I have one right here, because this Cobra Commander designed by Apra Studios is fucking fire. This guy's badass.
Awesome.
They can only distribute these to Asian distributors. The reason for that was because Hasbro was bringing back the figure subscription service in Western markets. Makes sense, right? Talking about Super7 and all these other companies making Joe products, because Hasbro, it's all reward, no risk. With a figure subscription service, you're basically talking a 12-month Dolly HasLab. Get 12 figures, maybe you get that 13th, you know, whatever the voted on figure. Regardless, the whole point of the Haya contract was so that Haya's 4-inch Joes didn't compete with the re-release of the figure subscription service. That was when I first heard about figure subscription coming back. Everything is a 2-year out plan. I haven't heard anything else. The last thing I heard in, I think, November was that it was still on the table. And wait and see. I don't know. I'm sorry. I appreciate the super chat. I wish I had more, but that's what I know. There's somebody in the chat that might know if he's still there. I'm not diming him out. I'm not. It's just fun. It's just fun to say it. Thank you, Stillwind, for the super chat. Again, when I know more, he'll know too, because we talk about this stuff all the time. me and Michael, behind the scenes, we talk about this stuff all the time. You were talking about Drew. What did Drew say?
Oh, me?
Yeah, that was a while ago. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
hey, look, Leslie Slade's here. Hi, Leslie. Good to see you. Oh, did you ever get down with the Final Faction stuff from, like, what was that, Dollar Tree? Did you get down with any of that? No? Some of their stuff is pretty cool. So they have like a little ATV. It's really good. I like it a lot. But Slacker Supreme, my opinion on Final Faction it kind of felt like toys were back, man. You know, you go into Dollar Tree or whatever it was, and there's just stuff everywhere, man. I like it. I really like their ATVs. I have tons of them. So I want to go back to this. So talk to me about this a little more.
So I never thought they would do a Masters of the Universe Transformers crossover ever. And so I was really excited when we saw this on the list. And what we like to do is just kind of think about the possibilities, right, around how they could develop a line like this, whether it's one figure or several figures. And so there's a couple ways that they could go about this. And these are concepts that I forget who the artist was, but these are concept sketches from, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And it basically shows what a true Masters of the Universe character, what that would look like as an Autobot or a Decepticon in their robot mode, which I thought was neat. And like people were like, no, you'll never see a flesh colored Optimus Prime or I mean, they're
with
so
the
crazy.
freaking Prince Adam hair.
Right.
I love it. Yeah.
And so this is the direction that they could go in, where they could make, you know, maybe one figure, like, you know, we could pick Megatron's Skeletor, He-Man, or the freaking Soundwave Trapjaw, which would be amazing.
I need that Soundwave Trapjaw. Like when I first heard about this, I was like, that's dumb. And then I saw this and I'm like, now if I don't get Trapwave or Soundjaw, or I like Trapwave.
I like that.
I think Zakanan said it in the chat. If I don't get that, now I'm going to be bummed out.
Yeah. So
perfect.
Yeah. And the Panther as Ravage makes sense, although I think you mentioned this when we were talking backstage, just a purple version of Ravage. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, so
I'd still be down with it, because if you get a, you know, Ravage or it'd probably be Ravage, right? If you get a Panther Ravage, well, he's going to come with the freaking Soundwave anyway. So, you know, it's 2 for the price of 1. It's all good.
Yeah. And it was funny because I know that people were mentioning the Stinkor Starscream, you know, all through the chat. It's like, never will happen. But like, I love the artist who did this. He did not go with the thing that was super obvious, right? He was like, let's paint this as freaking Stinkor and mash up a Seeker with it. Like, how brilliant is that?
Was it Stink Scream? Star Stink? Star Stink sounds a little question.
I don't know. Reminds me of Rikishi's finishing move in WWF, the Stink Face. I want to forget about that one. Yeah, so this is a direction that they could go in. There's also another direction where they could make what I really wanted them to do, as we were talking about the GI Joe Transformers collab, is do it in that style. Like, make a battle ram as big as the battle ram that we had as a kid and make it transform, and do that nice box art that the GI Joe Transformers do. Never going to happen, because I don't think there's a market for this, but that would be fun.
What about a Mossman Grimlock?
Grimlock.
Mossman. I mean, it's better than Jetfire. Fuck yeah,
I know, right?
My Jetfire.
I mean, what are, like, when you see stuff like this, like what are your thoughts on this? Like, even like the lines just coming together just as an entity of itself.
I think it's weird, but I think some of it works. You know, Masters is fantastical anyway. I mean, you got a dude with a bone face, just talking continuously with no vocal cords, whatever. But some of these make sense. I think some of them work really well. I don't see a flesh-colored Optimus with the Karen hair. I just don't see that happening. But the Shockwave Triclops works, even though he has weird flesh color bits. It still works. Skeletor Megatron is a no-brainer. It just looks rad, because the helmet really lends itself to the skull face.
Yep.
Yeah, but
the Brawn Ram Man.
Yeah, the Brawn Ram.
That would totally work. That works for me. I would want them to do that.
Man at Arms is Ironhide. Who is that? Yeah. Ironhide.
Yep.
I could see that. Yeah.
Battle Cat is what is it? Cliff Jumper or
would he be Iron Man? Iron Arms.
Iron Arms.
Iron Man.
Run into trouble.
Dude, you're fucking sued.
Cease and desist.
Iron Man. Yeah, no, that would.
Oops.
I think they're pretty freaking rad, honestly. It's not really my wheelhouse, but because I do have I have a decent amount of Masterpiece Transformers. I would get a couple of these for sure.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of it is what's the size, because Transformers nowadays, you go down the Walmart aisle and they have some that look like they should be in the dollar store, for like little kids party packs
that are $10 a pop.
And then you go on Amazon and get the Masterpiece ones. Yeah. So what's the size? Is there anything vac metallized? What's the price point?
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions in there, but I could get behind some of these. Yeah. I could.
Yeah. My fear is that this will be a single figure and it'll be like, have you seen the TMNT Transformers crossover, the party wallet?
Yeah, the turtle van. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. It'll just be like a single figure that they'll just make a Masters figures for. I want them to do more, but I don't see it happening.
Maybe. Now comes the point where I'm contractually obligated to do something thanks to Hal Jordan. I'm sorry for your eyes, but
Chad, how insensitive of you.
Yeah, I had to do that. Look, if it gets in the chat and I see it, I gotta do it. It's just it's a have to.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Yeah, I could get behind.
I like some of the crossover stuff. It's fun. Like I have the Gigawatt Back to the Future Transformers crossover. Yep. I like those are some of my favorite movies, and I was like, freaking why not? Right?
Yeah, and it's a friggin' DeLorean.
Yes,
you can't go wrong with that. And I thought the Ectotron looked cool.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Yeah. I can't. I'm hoping that we get early information on these too, so I can finally be like, okay, well, this is how they're going to be done. Because I'm really interested in how they're going to do this, and if they have all the technical engineering capabilities of the Transformers team on this, like they're going to look freaking cool. Like, there's just no doubt.
Yeah, I agree with you, but again, it's all in the presentation, right?
Yes.
So it could be a one-off, like you said, or it could be an ongoing line like the Joe stuff. Who knows? But
yeah,
I think Masters is hot enough right now. Their resurgence is still going pretty strong. Where I think you could crank out this many of them.
Yeah, or it could be super lame like the Street Fighter 2 Transformers mashup.
Oh God, maybe. I have to give a special shout out to Leslie Slade, because Leslie got promoted to Master Sergeant in the Army, and congratulations, Master Sergeant, for getting promoted to E8, and big hand for that. I didn't get promoted to E8 till my ass retired, so congratulations to you. That's really freaking awesome. So I had to say that. And then Ryan says that stupid duvets ruin toys. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Scorpion from MKX, thanks for being here. I guess that's Mortal Kombat 10, maybe. Yeah. Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 10. Yeah.
It was fun meeting Laser Pants at Comic-Con.
Yeah,
that was one of my highlights.
Let's chat about that for a couple minutes before we wind down. So you and Toy Sorceress were at Comic-Con last year. Ryan was at Comic-Con last year. Ryan and I are going this year, and I know you guys are going again too.
We are.
So yeah, we'll finally get to hang out.
Oh my gosh, that I can't wait. So excited.
What you came on the channel and we kind of broke down SDCC 24. What are you looking forward to for this year?
This year, so if we go back to last year, Mattel, the Masters booth had their big snake lair reveal, their crowdfund.
Right.
It was met with not a lot of positivity, which
That's
caused
right.
them to
Dial
put it
that
on
back.
Yeah, they dialed it back. They actually put it on pause, and we've heard it was been radio silent since then. So my question is, did they go back to the drawing board and make it a smaller, like Castle Grayskull size playset like people thought? Or are they going to continue with, their almost Eternia sized snake lair that they wanted to put out? So I'm interested to see if that makes it into this year's Comic-Con or not. But it's also the 40th anniversary of She-Ra and the Princess of Power. And so, I think people are anticipating a lot more She-Ra stuff, probably at SDCC. Definitely looking forward to like some more Missing Link Transformer stuff, because I love that line and I want to see it continue. But yeah, I mean, I'm also looking forward to just meeting like folks like you in person. Like when people would come up to you and be like, "You're Michael from Toy Habits." I'm like, "Yes." Like, and have a conversation with you. Like the toys are going to be there and they're fine. They're cool. That's what we go for. But it's like the personal connections are so freaking cool. Like that was the best part of Comic-Con for me. So toys aside,
the best part of any con for me.
Yeah.
Like
toys
the
aside,
dollies, like you said, the dollies and stuff, like they come and go. Right. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you. Please.
No, it's fine. But yeah, I think from a toy perspective, be interesting to see like what, it's always fun to see what the GI Joe booth has in store, all the major properties and stuff like that. What about you?
Obviously people, right? People always first. The hobby's great. The toys are fun, the memories, all that stuff. But without the people that I share the love of this stuff with, then it's just me in my garage, right, with toys. So it's definitely always people over products. Yeah, hanging out with you, meeting Toy Sorceress for sure. Of course, Ryan, because whenever I get together with Ryan, it's a fucking hoot, because I love Ryan to death. Yeah, it's just I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con.
Ooh.
The only reason I even entertained going was to go as press. So that's the only thing that got me to go. And I'm just curious, like, am I gonna run into friggin' Shartimus Prime? Because if I do, I'm gonna say some shit to him about all my toys, because he made a low-key dig at me. And not like I'm hurt about it, but I'm gonna give it back to him because it's fun. It's all in just good fun. It's not to be a prick. It's just, I'd be like, "Oh, hey, I bought some more action figures." Whatever.
I guarantee you will, because you'll see, who was it? Kyle Peterson. I don't know if you might see him on YouTube and Instagram. He was like fifth in line back from us when we were in line. You turn around and you're like, "Oh, there's Kyle Peterson." You meet somebody new. And I was in the Mattel booth for like the 17th time at Comic-Con, and there was Shartimus Prime looking at some figures, and somebody walks up to him and it's like, "Are you Shartimus Prime?" He's like, "Yes, I am."
Was he sleeveless?
Was Shartimus Prime sleeveless? I could not tell you. Like I would not be able to tell you what.
I bet you everybody in the chat just said he was probably sleeveless. Anyway, look, I'm always wearing a hat, so we all have our own shtick in one way or the other. The weird thing is, if you're not my friend, or I don't know you in some kind of capacity, either like sharing a YouTube stream or something like that, I really don't care. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, I sat 2 people away from Gene Simmons at NAMM, which is a North American musicians merchandisers, right? That they do that at Anaheim every year. And I had no interest in talking to Gene Simmons. The guy's a jerk.
Right.
So I don't, I just want to meet people face to face and
yeah.
Maybe check out some stuff. I would like to see if I could sign up to do an interview with the Hasbro people. I'm gonna say probably not.
So if you pin down Lenny or Emily, they'll just say, all they say is just DM us on Instagram, and
No, but can't you sign up there at the booth to talk to them then and there?
Oh, that's a good question. We just grabbed Lenny and Emily just between them talking to people and chatted with them for a couple minutes.
Yeah,
but
no, Lenny
not like
Lenny
Lenny
had
like
me
an
blocked
interview
on Instagram before.
like an interview there, or just
there.
Oh yeah, I have no clue. Like
Yeah, I
don't,
thought there was a sign up to try to.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you were pressed, you could sign up there to interview them, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Ryan
something
probably knows.
Don't want to do. I don't know. I don't have an interest in that. But
my good friend Suka, who I love very much. Dad, will you buy me the classified San Diego Comic-Con exclusive and have Lenny sign it while you're there?
Dad.
Yes, I will.
Oh.
100%. I will. Yeah.
It is actually really fun seeing like those, like the people that do the Star Wars streams, and Lenny, and the people who are on like YouTube that are like the forefront of the brand. Seeing them live there is pretty fun.
I guess slippery slope, right?
Yeah.
Would I like to talk to Lenny? Yes. Did Lenny have me blocked on Instagram? Yes. Until Viper Island got me and Ryan kicked off of Instagram and we had to start new accounts. Do I think that he would want to talk to me? Probably not. So whatever. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll give it a whack. I'll give it the old college try and we'll see what happens. But yeah. Slade on Slade says, I agree. I love meeting people. All the really great people that collect. 100%. Good night, George Aiken. Thank you for being here. Hopefully I caught you before you left. And Masterson 42, thank you, sir, for the $5 super chat. Says, one of my biggest regrets was meeting Chad in person, you fucking jerk. Now I like him and I want to hang out more. He's like a drug, just a little less expensive. Thanks. Michael, if you ever meet Masterson 42, awesome guy.
Okay.
Right? Air Force veteran. So he's really bright. Doesn't smile very much.
Is that him in the picture?
That's him. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a million pictures of me and him, and I'm like this. And he has this face. Yeah. A million of them. I love him, but yeah. He actually gave me one of the most impactful, probably the most retirement gift out of anyone who gave me retirement gifts. And I got a few. And when he brought it into the meet and greet at DFW GI Joe show, which I'm going to come back around to that show here in a second. And he brought it in and he walked over to my wife and he was like, I'm going to make him cry. And I did, but not there in front of everyone because there was like 100 people in that room. I waited till later, but it happened. Mo wants to know, Michael, last year at San Diego Comic-Con, did a street human steal Shartimus Prime sleeves?
I didn't even talk to the guy. I don't know. It was one of those things where it's like I knew of him, but I'm like, what would I have to talk to him about? And like, what would I say? I'm like, I don't know.
This guy who has jerk in his name and admits that he's a jerk, he trolled Brian Flynn at what was it, Rhode Island Comic-Con, I want to say. I don't know, but he trolled Brian Flynn for a photo. I thought it was pretty funny. Mm-hmm. I starred something. I gotta find it. I don't know how I can miss it because it was all caps. Oh yeah, 49er Brian screaming at me. What's up, Chad? Sorry I'm late. Do you know if your guest is going to DFW?
I would love to go to DFW. I tried to go. I was trying to figure out how to go last year, but that's one place where I would definitely want to go, and I want to make it happen. So I think I was talking to my wife the other day. I was like, you have any interest in going with me? She was like, no, but
It's rad, dude. If you're serious, I can hook you up with Greg for a press pass.
Oh, okay.
But that's the only place where you're gonna see all these people that had any hand in a real American hero, and it's frickin' all of them. You know, it's Rudat and Bazigian and Cassidy and like all of them. Greg Bernston, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, it's in June. So if you're serious about going, let me know.
Okay.
I'll get with Greg.
Yeah.
Sure.
That is something that I do want to make happen. So yeah.
Yeah, and all those guys from A Real American Hero, and I can't give enough kudos to Greg because he always makes sure that he does like a meet and greet with them. So everyone that has like a specific, I think it's called like the commander's package.
I need a commander's package. Like screw the press pass.
I had a commander's package and a press pass last year. I was
damn.
Yeah. But everyone who has that package or higher, you can hang out with all of those creators, and they just do this massive meet and greet, and everybody they just go into one of the the little conference rooms and hang out for hours. It's rad.
That's pretty freaking cool. Shoot the shit.
Yeah, let me know. We can always talk about that more offline, but I know 49er Brian had asked that question. I pinned it.
Oh, thank you.
A hot minute ago. Yeah, hot minute ago. But yeah, there's your answer, Brian.
75 minutes ago. What?
Kind of something like that. So anyway, yeah. So we got San Diego Comic-Con coming up this summer. You, Toy Sorceress, me, Mr. Laser Pants from the 3POA, and I'm sure a shitload more people. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna have fun, and hopefully you come to DFW. So
that would be fun. Yeah, Toy Sorceress and I got an Airbnb with Mega J and Danny from Titan Toys, so that's gonna be
for this year.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I haven't worked on any of that yet. I'll be honest. I'm probably just gonna stay in the TLF, like the temporary lodging facility, on one of the military installations nearby. But that's I am gonna drive. So anybody who knows I don't fly. So
yes. Yeah, I would do that too if I had that option. So
I have to.
Yes.
I have to. I really do. Suka says Masterson is funny as a mofo. He is. Masterson's very funny. Yeah. Have I met a different Masterson? Because dude smiles a lot. Yeah, he smiles. I'm just kidding. So Michael, anything else? You got anything else going on? What's next for Toy Habits?
Well, we have to provide some early information over the course of the next few weeks for some Masters of the Universe properties, Masterverse, and their cartoon collection. And yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to just all the stuff that's going to be coming out pre-comic, leading up to Comic-Con. That's always fun. So, I mean, the whole cycle starts all over again. So it's the league, it's the what ifs and the possibilities. And the fun thing about the Masters line is, or especially their Origins line, is they tease a lot of figures that could make it into the line. So that's another fun way to engage with the property and talk about that stuff. But yeah, I mean, we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and we also both have day jobs too, so it's fun. Like I don't want to answer to the man the rest of my life, and so hopefully when I do retire, like this could become my full-time gig, which would be fun.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you, but I went back to work. Did I tell you that?
No.
Yeah, I did. I got tired of being at home. I felt like I still had a little more to give.
Okay.
So the ma'am and I discussed it, and I took an offer with the state. So I went back to work. I work in whatever.
Yeah.
I work for the state.
That's
Special
pretty
programs division. I'm not going to get into it, but
That's
it's
all right.
a big old fancy thing. But I sit in an office and I watch the trains go by downtown. It's pretty nice. So
That's pretty cool. Congratulations.
I am caught up with the chat. No, thanks, Michael. But yeah, I completely understand what you're saying, because I'm trying to keep up with the pace that I had when I wasn't working. Now that I'm working again, and over the past year that I was retired, you know, because I was hitting that algorithm like every Monday morning, I was putting out videos, and I saw some good growth, and now it's like I'm trying to keep up with. I can't. So I'm doing my best, but I want it to be fun. I want it to be worthwhile, and I'm not killing myself about it either.
That's
Now
good.
it's about like two. This isn't at you, Michael. It's about 2 weeks for a video now. So yeah, and you guys have way more info. You know, the spin on your channel is completely different than mine. So I commend you
Yeah,
guys.
I mean,
Like, you guys
we
kick ass.
we just do live streams, and so like we work our asses off putting content on the website, and you know, it's the Toy Sorceress actually like opened my eyes to this. She's like, you know, we put on all this work on the website, like why don't we talk about it with, you know, folks who tune in every week. You know, we'll have a major thing that we'll talk about every week, but you know, I was burnt out on making videos. I was doing all the production, you know, when we were
Yeah.
recording videos and doing reviews and all that stuff, and it's a lot. So I'm like, I'm happy where we are right now.
I'm caught up. They're all excited about it. I'm caught up. So yeah, but I gotta say, you know, between the website, between the live streams, like you guys put out a lot of good information.
Thank you.
What do you call it again? You don't call it the L word, it's what?
Early information.
Early information. So you put out a lot of news and early information.
Yeah.
And
Or what JLS Comics would like to say, taint.
the taint.
The taint. We put the taint out.
You gotta tell Toy Sorceress that.
I do.
It's called taint now.
I gotta screenshot that thing.
Thanks to all the chat holes over on that jerk's channel. Yeah. Yeah. GeForce Racing says 1, 2, skip a few. I'm caught up. Yeah, kinda. But you know, I saw everybody was talking about these were my first Joes, and I had a beater gung ho and all that stuff. I still see them. So I put up what's relevant, kids. Speaking of relevant, I would like to give a gigantic happy birthday to our good friend Zakanen and the chat jump. So happy birthday, Zakanen. And that's for you, buddy. Happy birthday. Well, Michael, it's been 2.5 hours. And I had a freaking blast.
I did too.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you for having me on. It's been a blast. Like, this is the best way to spend a Sunday.
I love it. I enjoy it. And I always have a good time hanging out with you. And to you and the Toy Sorcerers, thank you for what you guys do with your early information. The next time I get some early information, you know, I will share it with you.
Thank you for your partnership. Like I like to say, we like to amplify people's news, not like take it over and make it our own.
Yeah. And you guys are really cool about that. You're always cool about that. And I agree, right? We gotta like champion the good people, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Cool. Well, I'm sure we'll hang out again before then, but if not, I'll see you in San Diego, my friend, and hopefully in Dallas in June.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah, I was looking that up while you were talking about it, and I want to book flights.
Well, check it out some more. Talk it over with your better half and let me know, and I'll get with Greg Brown and we can make that happen, no problem. So let me know.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, my friend. In classic fashion around here, you're going to sign us out.
Oh boy. It's been wonderful hanging out with everyone here, just because a lot of people here are different than what our normal chat is on YouTube, so it's fun. One, to hang out with you and to meet all these wonderful people and see all the crazy comments. But hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their weekend. It's almost over, sadly, but
Yeah.
thank you so much for having me on, and good journey, everyone.
Thanks, my friend. And again, before we go, if you guys aren't subscribed to Toy Habits, all their links are in the description. And have an awesome day.
Chad, how insensitive of you.